Yes. Can you also add on there, because you're going to approve two different sets of minutes? Because we had that extra meeting in there on November 3rd.
So under item.
All right, so approval of the agenda.
We have an amended agenda, so we have some things that we need to modify. We would request that we take off under old business, the discussion of the local 580 contract, because we had never heard back from our lawyer, and so we cannot move forward without the response on the changes that we have talked about, and to dismiss the new business because we hadn't had that set ahead of time, a discussion of fire department station inventory. We have not been able to go through that as a group, and removal of vacation sick time payout for full employees. We had just received notice that that's going to be on the agenda, so we really have not been notified what that is. So it would be down to 2023 township contracts that we will discuss in the old and new business sections.
I do think that there's a place for having a conversation to begin under the new business section. It's not that we necessarily have to take action on it tonight, but I think that there are some pertinent conversations to be had regarding those.
I disagree.
At what point do you think that we would be able to have these conversations then? Because
when we receive information about what is being requested.
That's my point, is that I have some input in that, not necessarily pertinent to this department, but that this is a necessary action that we as a commission would need to do for any full-time.
Well, I don't know that everyone would agree that, and so
Our lawyer would.
Well, we need to have it in writing.
Again, it would be the beginning of the conversation. For us not to have the conversation until December is going to just further prolong.
Well, even if we had another meeting in 2 weeks, I want it in writing what's being asked of us.
Oh, absolutely. We wouldn't be paying it out tonight.
Oh, of course not, but I want it in writing so that we would know what we're being asked. We can submit it to our lawyers and to our financial business treasurer, so that we know what we're talking about.
So
okay.
Are we still discussing the fire department inventory? Is that what you're talking about?
Both of those topics. We have to start the conversation. We have to begin.
I'm going to second Teresa's motion. I just feel like we really do need to know exactly what we're looking for here.
Okay, so what I see as changes currently is item 2 is the award amended is added. The November meeting will be added to item 3 for approval of minutes. And there's a motion on the floor to remove item 5A and all of item 6. Any further discussion on this? Teresa, during that, could you request what you're looking for under the new business? Or are you going to wait till like a 2-week meeting to see what do you actually...
No, I would request that the documentation specify exactly what's being requested of sick time payout for full-time employees, and document I mean, do we have documentation of all of the vacation, sick time, and who is listed in there in terms of full-time employees? So that, and where in the budget would that money come from? Because the budget at this time does not list, I looked through your budget, it does not list anywhere in that budget for this money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if you left it on the agenda, you could make the request of everything that you wanted.
Well,
And
I
that- you
just
know what I
told
mean?
you what it was, so you need to come up with documentation for that.
It is, Kelsey has everything. Every time they have a vacation or anything,
Yeah,
sick time.
vacation and sick time is
That's
included in
all.
their payroll.
Yeah.
No, where you're going to pull it from your budget.
It's the payroll. That's where it comes from. Vacation and sick time comes out of the payroll budget. It's already figured in there.
Any further conversation on, or discussion on this topic? All in favor of those changes to the agenda? Aye.
I-
Opposed? Nay as well. So it's 3-2, so the changes stand. All right, so moving on to, so do we have an approval of the agenda? Oh, I guess we did approve the amended agenda, okay. Approval of minutes from October 19th and from November, was it 3rd, 6th? Feels like it was just yesterday. November 3rd.
It was.
Move approval.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from October 19th and November 3rd. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, public participation.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Y'all know me, but Chris Lucas, 1012 Dickoff Drive, Milton. Just wanted to let the commission know that I will be retiring from the fire department on January 1st. I've lived, I got on the fire department in 1988, about a year and a half after I got out of high school. When I got on the fire department, I made $5 for coming to a call. We didn't get paid anything for training. We did it because we wanted to be there, because we love doing it. And when joining that fire department has provided me a career. I will forever be grateful for the things that the Milton Fire Department provided me, for the opportunities that it provided me and for. I mean, I'm a career firefighter today. I've had a very successful career in the fire service, and I will never, ever not be appreciative of the opportunities that this organization has provided for me. With that being said, I just wanted to make my feelings known about a few things that have taken place recently. And I'm not gonna, I'm not calling anybody out or trying to show that I'm upset, but as somebody that's given his life to this organization for my entire adult life, it's frustrating, and it hurts me to see what's happened to this organization. And, as a leader in the organization, I have to take some ownership in that. I think all of us as chief officers have to take some ownership in that. I think that you as a commission need to take some ownership in that. I don't think that we collectively in the last few years have worked well together. I think kind of how we're in the situation that we're in today, the city and the town just couldn't get along on this commission. And it was obvious. It was embarrassing at times. Not the way that I was hoping that I would see my career finish. With that being said, I've been involved in a lot of meetings over the last few years, been involved in a lot of discussion, have appreciated the opportunity to provide input. Very disappointed that I was not, or any of the administration of the Milton Fire Department were involved in any of the discussions as far as, is this a good thing? this merger. Leadership is based on relationships and trust. I can't think of one time that when I was asked to do something for this organization, I didn't do it. When you needed an interim fire chief a couple years ago, I did it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Anytime I've been asked to do something for this organization, I've done it. I always felt that you trusted me as a person that you could rely on to get things done, that knew his job, that knew the organization. And I guess I was very, very hurt that not one person from the fire commission asked me what I thought about any of this. Not one person from the city council, the town board, anybody asked me what I thought about any of this. I love the concept. I think it's a good thing that we're going to do. Do I have concerns about some of the way it's going to be done? Yeah, but you know what? That's going to be with anything. I don't care if it's Edgerton, Janesville, whatever. There's going to be concerns. Really wish things would have been handled different that way. I don't like the fact that we seem to be stalling on getting a union contract for our full-time employees. I don't like the fact that almost everybody on the Milton Fire Department is going to take a cut in pay or possibly even lose their position through any of this. None of that was ever considered. I don't like the fact that attending staff meetings with Town of Milton Town Chairman, Mayor Welch, Commissioner Roosh, that, you know, in these staff meetings when our concerns are brought up and we get told, you know, we're saying, hey, this person might not have a job, this person might lose their job. And when I get told by the city administrator that you're worried about two people, you're not looking at the big picture, you're not looking at the long-term plan. Well, as a leader in the organization, my first responsibility should be to worry about my people. I should be looking out for my people. And if we're not looking out for our people as leaders, I don't care if it's the fire department, the community, whatever. And you're doing that too. You're doing what you feel is best for the community, and I appreciate and respect that. But we have a job to do too, and we need to look out for these people. I have watched these people do things that I'm amazed at what they can do. Due to staffing and things like that, I've seen them do things that aren't up to the standard, meaning the safety standard, but we do it anyway because you got to get it done. You got to do that or somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to die. And they do it. They show up. There's not a lot of us left, but we're showing up. We're getting the job done. I really hope that moving forward, this ends up being a good thing. I can tell you right now that a lot of us are doing our part to move it forward. I hope that you guys get a contract for these people before this merger takes place. I hope that when this is all said and done, that whatever the differences are, whatever the animosities are between, and it just seems like a lot of tension right now between the commission and the fire department. I don't like it. I hope we can put all that behind us. But I wanted to let you know that as much as this organization has provided me great opportunity, and I'll forever be appreciative and thankful for that. You really got some good people here, not just these people here tonight, but a whole department full of people that have busted their ass for this community, put their lives on the line, and done some incredible things. And I really hope that everybody remembers that, and that we do keep their best interest in mind. You know, it would have been nice, and maybe it's still not too late, if whether you sign the contract or not, whether you believe the line in there about people being able to retain their jobs should be in there or not, at the very least, a letter of support for these people moving forward with the transition would be very much appreciated. It's been a pleasure serving you. It's been an honor serving you in this community. And I just want to say thanks.
Thank you so much, Chris. We greatly
Thank you.
appreciate your service to our community. Any other public participation at this time? All right, going on to old business, item 5, which would now be A, discussion and possible action regarding the 2023 township contracts with Lima, Koshkonong, Johnstown, and Harmony. I know in our minutes, it stated that, that we would be, thank you, that we would be, issuing a 1-month contract. And I think in retrospect, it makes total sense. However, I believe that there needs to be a section in there regarding the fact that there may need to be a month extension. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mention a month-to-month contract. It mentions a 1-month contract. So that's my thought process behind this, in the event that something would need to change. I know that the towns are, that's the perception that that would be occurring, but I believe in this contract that it needs to be stated.
Should we first make a motion to, on the contracts? I would move that the contracts with the towns, be approved as presented. So we can get, and then we can have the discussion on it.
Okay.
For extensions.
No,
The
what he's saying is that what we'll do is have,
Motion to put the contracts on the floor, so,
Right.
to approve them.
And then do another motion for extension.
Potential.
If needed, if
Yep,
needed.
yep.
Okay.
Right.
I'll second it.
So discussion?
I guess my only comment is, I think that the towns got the contracts this week. I don't know whether anybody is moving on them or not, whether they're accepting them. The one thing that I worry about is whether, if we change the contract at this point,
They have not been sent out. I can't send the contracts out to the townships until they're approved by the fire
okay.
commission.
So the amounts were sent out?
But yeah, they know they know
Okay.
the amounts.
Okay. Thanks for that clarification.
How would you word that?
Something to the effect of, for a period of 1 month from January 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2023, or until such a time that the merger is complete, and until such a time that the merger is completed.
That wouldn't speak to the amounts, though. So,
What it would mean, because what it reflects currently is that this is a monthly amount. And so it would just continue to be a monthly amount or a partial month, until such a time that the contract is null and void.
and the monthly amount was 1/12 of the annual numbers in the
Yeah,
budget?
that's correct.
Is that the case?
So each contract that we received as a commission reflected the
I thought that
municipality's
was-
amount
Yeah.
for 1 month.
I guess I'm just thinking that, I don't know if this is good as far as the timing goes, but I'm just kind of wondering if we need to make an addendum to this at a different time, wouldn't we be able to do that? If we come into that kind of a situation?
Legally, what would happen, and I don't believe that the towns would do this, but they could say, no, we're done. We've paid, and now we don't have to pay for a part of February. or whatever that looks like. I mean, that's, in essence, they've signed this. That's all they've needed to pay for is January. It just leaves an open door. It just leaves more problems, I guess, if, you know, if something isn't finished by the end of January. It's my only thought process behind it.
I believe these contracts were redone by an attorney a few years back. I don't know exactly when, because it used to state in here somewhere that it was like completely, didn't it say something like it was renewed automatically? I mean, we had taken a lot of stuff out, because when years ago, someone at the fire department just wrote them, but a few years back, an attorney redid the wording in here. So I don't know if you'd want an attorney if you wanted added some verbiage in there. I'm not sure.
Well, I'll just say again that those are my concerns, and I do believe that we need to get these contracts out post haste. So if we're not willing or feeling that we're able to insert a sentence or two to extend this if necessary, so be it. But I do believe that we need to finish this tonight.
Do you want to have an attorney look at this after tonight? We can approve it as is, and then have the attorney look at it to see whether or not we might.
No, we're perfect. This is our contract. We're perfectly capable of inserting it if necessary. But if the feeling is not that it's something that we want to do, then we just need to send them out as is, and work diligently to get this finished by January 31st.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable us putting an addendum in that may create some additional uncertainty. You know, somebody else might interpret it differently in terms of what we've said. If we say, you know, it would extend a month to month to month, this isn't going to happen, but say it went through the end of the year, into the next year, that would make us give them a contract for 2024 that was the 2023 amount. You know, I think we need to be careful with the language, and consequently, I kind of like Linda's idea of we approve the contract as is, and then ask the attorney to draft an addendum that can be acted upon at whatever meeting, if in case the merger doesn't happen February 1st. So, you know, approve the contract as is, so the towns have the contract. They can take it to their town meetings and get them approved. And separate from that, get that addendum to the contract drafted so that it's ready, so that we can act on it immediately.
So 2 thoughts. One, I would not be in favor of sending this to our lawyer yet. It's only in the event that it's necessary, if this is where we're going with it. And secondly, did I hear you say that we, as municipal bodies, will take it to our respective boards? Or did you mean that Lima, Kashkanan?
I meant the not all the towns, not the town of Milton, the contracting towns is what
Got
I'm
it.
talking
Okay,
about.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion on this?
No.
Then I'll call the vote. All in favor of the motion to accept the 2023 town contracts, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. All right, fire chief's report.
All right, the month of October was very busy again. We had a total of 115 calls for service. As far as training goes, we had joint EMS refresher training with Edgerton, and we covered more fire suppression stuff. As far as miscellaneous goes, just a few things. There's been a ton of ups and downs this year. It's been a very tough year for everybody. I couldn't have done this job without everybody here, everybody a part of the fire department. But on that note, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful for them. Like I said, I couldn't have done without them. Every single one of them. But I do have some more retirements to announce. Obviously, Chief Lucas has announced his. Again, couldn't have done it without him. As effective January 1st, BC Lucas, 35 years on the department. BC Maury, 24 years on the fire department. BC Calhoun, total of 20 years on the fire department. And myself, with a total of 21 years on the department, will be done January 1st. So, I just wanted everybody to know that, so they're prepared for that month of January.
Obviously, we're sorry to hear about all of those. If we could please get letters to deal with those,
Absolutely.
and yeah, so that we have record of those, and yeah, sorry to hear about all those.
Yes, I'm very sorry to hear about all those people that have decided to retire, but it's something that we all come to at a point in our life, and in emergency services especially. It's very difficult, but we appreciate everything that all of you have given to this department and the community.
Thank you. I literally have nothing else. Other than, I'm hoping that we can have some sort of a party of some sort to commemorate your amazing tenure. I mean, this is significant, obviously. And we're eternally grateful for all that you have done for our department. And those that are not retiring, we are eternally grateful. Anything else, Jeremy?
No, that's all I got.
All right. President's report?
There's nothing to report.
Okay, general items. I'm gonna slide some things in here because obviously we aren't able to take action on them tonight, but I need to throw them out for thought. In terms of the inventory, first I'm gonna just have a blanket statement that I feel that it is necessary for us to develop a committee to help with this transition. There needs to be actually two committees. One needs to be one that may be comprised of our commission members and members of the department, and then there needs to be our heads of our municipalities to handle the transition as what it looks like to get to Edgerton. But in terms of this inventory list, I sent out an email yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, saying that there are parts of this inventory that we're gonna have to get down to the nitty gritty in this. We have not just a value of our employees of our department, but there is a monetary value of the items held within the department. And I believe that our lawyers for our municipalities are gonna have to be involved in this as well. It's not just so easy as to say, here, you get to take this over. And so in terms of personnel, that will need to be handled at a different level, but there are brick and mortar and other items that need to have a value put on them. And in talking about what our benefits package remains, I just went through this. I sold my business in January. I had to put a value on what my outstanding payroll, my benefits that remained to be paid out to my employees. So it's not for Edgerton to take that on. It is for Milton to take on. And it's already put into our budget. When we do our budget, we already know the value of the unpaid vacation time or PTO time. So that all needs to be itemized. And even, it may be, it's just pushing a button to get the report, but it's gonna have to be sent over to the commission. So, because this timeline is very quick, if we're looking at the end of January as this being finalized, I believe that we're gonna have to meet as a commission in the next couple of weeks. And we're also going to have a committee that sits down to try to start to work through this. Because it's not for Jeremy to have to assign the value to all the pair of scissors in the office.
Right, and I did ask Chairman Meyer about the value on everything, and he said that that was not my responsibility. And he also did state that I didn't, I could be a little bit broad on some of the things, as far as, say, office supplies, or, to say hand tools for that matter.
Yes.
So that's why you did get the inventory list that you got.
And then this is not a slight to you, Jeremy, but what I'm saying is thank you for that. But now we have to take it a step further. I mean, there's a value on the ambulance contents.
Mhm.
We have to figure out if that's even able to be returned to Mercy, because all of these are the T's and I's that
Sure.
have to be taken
Sure.
care of now.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be
An
us
option.
to figure out, to be honest with you. 'Cause-
But it is for us to figure out what our value is.
Sure. And who's going to be responsible for that?
Well, it is a matter of forming some sort of a committee that will then start to work through the process. I mean, what triggered my thought process was even looking at the washer and dryer that you had put in the picture. So we've got these big tubs of laundry soap, and no, it doesn't necessarily matter that those cost $75 a tub or whatever it is. But we're taking these with us. These are, or when they're coming in, this is what they're going to have. If you've got 3 cases of copy paper, paper is like gold right now. So, anyway, I'm just putting it out there. It's not something that we can necessarily take action on, but I think that we do need to, when we're discussing our next scheduled meeting date, have that conversation. Any other general items?
I was just gonna say, do you want to see when Brian gets back, if we need to specially schedule a meeting prior to December?
Is that anything that we can take care of via email?
I don't know why not.
I think so.
In the way of comments, I sent Jeremy a note thanking him and asking him to thank whoever else on the staff was involved in doing the inventory. That's a lot of work. Regardless of placing a dollar value on it is really, really subjective, and how you come up with that on some of the large scale items, I think that can be done. An ambulance of such and such an age with such and such an equipment is probably worth X, and we'll be able to come to a ballpark on that kind of stuff. Some of the other stuff going to be extremely subjective and difficult to do. I understand we need to do it, but having that inventory, I think, is gold, and thanks for all the effort that went into it.
I can tell you that there are accountants that will do valuations. Now, we would still need to get the inventory list together in order for them to assign the valuation. The price tag is typically around $1,000. So it's just food for thought, whether that's the way that we want to go about it. We're not going and looking for a sale. We're not trying to sell it, but we do need to arrive at a dollar amount to show the value that we are holding within the station. The other thought that I had was that we need to contact so right now we have Brooke as our fire commission lawyer, and then we have our municipal lawyers. Brooke may need to be the person in charge of this particular leg of this, but the contracts that we have with, we've got 2 that I can think of that we were gonna need to sever. What are they, Jenny? I'm sorry. Yeah, billing.
The Andres, the billing.
Yes.
And we have a collection agency, we're not under contract, that's a month to month
Okay,
with that,
As far as the billing company, they have been notified. Just waiting back to hear from them what they need from us.
okay. So knowing that we can't necessarily set an end date until we have an end date, hoping that that might be something that Brooke might need to negotiate, if you will, because the date might change.
Jenny, do we have any invoices from Brooke at all that have not been received that you know of?
no, we get them from the attorney's office monthly.
And so we're all good with the attorney? Are no balance or anything? Do you know, right off the top of your head? Sorry.
I think that we just signed one off like last week or something, so yeah, we're,
I had one other thought on the inventory stuff. You know, Beth's mention of you know, hiring somebody to assign values to that might make some sense. The one approach might be for us to approach CIVMIC, the Cities and Village Mutual Insurance the city is a part of. They may be in the position, you know, obviously, if there's damage to equipment and so on, they've got people to assign, you know, dollars amounts to those losses. And so that may be a source as well, and we can check with the city whether or not that might be available to us.
That sounds great. So, I don't know, it's not anything that we would vote as a motion on, of course, but
Pursue it,
yeah.
so we have for our next meeting.
perfect. So currently any other general items? Currently, our next scheduled meeting is December 21st of this year. Does that look good on everybody's calendar right now? All right. So that will be here, and if possible, I would like to reach out when we can have an email to hopefully meet in the next 2 weeks. All right, any other business to come before us? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, vote aye. Opposed? Motion passes, meeting is adjourned, 6:39.